Good morning, all of you. Sorry, in fact, good afternoon, all of you. Welcome back to the course on cryptography and system security. In our last session, we started discussing about the chapter number 4 under that module, and we were discussing about some of the fundamentals which are related to the authentications. We discussed about the user authentication, we discussed about entity authentication, as well as we discussed about the different vulnerabilities which are related to the password. We discussed about how the password can be compromised by means of brute force attack, as well as proactive method and then reactive method. We discussed about the different password selection criteria, right? And then also we discussed about how the passwords are stored in the password database, right? So continuation of that, we have started discussing about one of the important authentication protocol, which was a Kerberos, right? So when we talk about a Kerberos, it's a third party authentication protocol through which an individual user can be authenticated. Whoever wanted to use a particular service based on the resources what they wanted to use, they need to authenticate it prior before getting the services. I'll quickly share the presentation screen. I hope I am audible, and the presentation screen is going to visible, which I'm going to share right now. Anyone can quickly acknowledge in the chat box whether the presentation screen is visible. Okay, thank you for your response. Right, we were discussing about the different elements which are related to the Kerberos. We discussed about an authentication server, and then we discussed about the ticket, right? And we discussed about ticket granting server, right? We'll continue that. I'll explain this slide, and later that I'll explain the architectures through which you will understand the concepts more clearly. Then I'll come back here. When we talk about the ticket consists of these elements. The first one is client name. So here this can be identity of a client or the user who wanted to get access to the particular resource, right? Whenever if the ticket is issued for the particular user, so the ticket consists of these informations. First, client name, so that can be the identity of the user whom the ticket belongs to. And the server name, so this is the name of the resource or server to which the client wanted to make a connection, or to from the server he wanted to get some services. Say for example, if it is a printer, so this is the name of the printer, and from which the customer or the client wanted to take a printout. And then the network, client host network address, so this is an client as well as network address. And then the session key for a client and server, right? That along with this information, the ticket will also consist of a session key. The session key which will be used to encrypt the request which is going to be transmitted from the client to the server, and followed by the ticket lifetime. So this is very similar to the certificate. When we certificate authority issues a certificate for authentication that has a certain validity, similarly the ticket also has a validity, right? After that the ticket is invalid, null and void, right? And then after that the creation timestamp. So this is a time at which the certificate has been created and shared with the user, right? So with this, I'll quickly jump into the Kerberos server architecture, and then I'll come back for further explanation, because so this information you need to understand with the architecture diagram. So that will be very easy for you once if you understand how this Kerberos part works. Now, this is the architecture diagram of the Kerberos versions. So where you can see the different entities. So first quickly I'll write the component. So here now this is the user AX, he wanted to get a service. Now this is a Kerberos authentication mechanisms, or it consists of different entities, which is authentication server and ticket granting server. I hope this is clear. Along with this authentication server, which is attached with the database. Now this database has the complete information about the users who are all registered with this authentication service mechanism. Now this is what a server component from which the user wanted to get service. Let's assume this is a printer or any server, right, from which the user wanted to get some service, right? Now first of all, the user logs onto the workstation and request service on host. So here, if I wanted to access something, right? So first of all, I need to log in into this device by entering the right username and password. If this is my machine, which I'm connected with this entire network, this is called Realm, one network, Kerberos Realm, right? So I will log in. After that, I'll be sending a request to the Kerberos unit. This Kerberos unit, which consists of two components. The first one is an authentication server, and the second one is a ticket granting server. Now, my first thing is that I'll be sending a request to authentication server. Now, this is my request. Request ticket granting a ticket. That means that I need to get a ticket. Let's assume it is EX. With the help of this ticket only, I can communicate to the component, which is, say, let's assume this is P, this is Q, R, right? I'm just assigning a symbol for easy understanding. Now, in order to access, in order to communicate to B, right, I need this ticket X, right? Let the same time, along with this, I can explain with the another example. Suppose you are a student, right? Right, for any emergency you wanted to meet our the chairman or maybe the higher authorities, right, who might be busy with some other activities, right? First of all, you need to go to the college and where the security person will be there, and they will verify your identity card. Okay, let's assume you wanted to meet principal ma'am or any other higher authorities, and you are sending the request. You are asking the permission for the security people. I wanted to meet this particular person, and what they will do, they will verify your credentials by means of they will see your identity card, and they will see which year you are belongs to which department. And then let's assume that they are giving some tokens or maybe the gate pass, right? Now the gate pass, which helps you to move to the further stage. Let's you have another stage, right? Personal secretary which is sitting outside the cabin, right? Now whatever the gate pass or the token which has been given by the security, with the help of the security you will come to this place, and then you are going to show that ticket or token to the personal secretary of the person you wanted to meet. And what he will do, right, he is going to check all your informations based on the token which the security gave, and you are going to meet these persons, right? After that, he will be issuing an another ticket, or let me check is in another token or another ticket, right? So with the help of the ticket, you are going to meet the higher authority. I hope this is clear. If you are not understanding with the example which I gave, you quickly can write in the chat box. I will choose some other through which you will understand it clearly. I'm waiting for your replies. Okay, I can explain it again. Okay, okay. So I'll stop this scenario right now, right? Right. So what I wanted to do is that I wanted to meet a particular person, right? Say for example, I'll take maybe chief minister, right? I'm a visitor. I wanted to meet this chief minister. First of all, I may enter into the chief minister office where the security person, and he will check my all my identity cards, right? The appointment letter and my identity, and they will check all the belongings of mine, and then whether I'm carrying any explosive and other things, and they will give the clearance that they will be giving an acknowledgement letter. I am so an authenticated person. I can move to the next stage. So this is the premises, the office premises. Now I'm coming back to the lobby, right? So where some more person, let's assume another level of entry, another level of security people, and they will be checking whatever the things which are issued by the security people. They will check all the documents. After that, they will be issuing another ticket or another pass through which I can go to my the specific higher authority on the specific time. I can meet this person. Okay. Similarly, in order to get a service in Kerberos authentication, this is to make sure that the server is completely busy with the some other activities to avoid the denial of services. In order to get a service from the server, whatever the requests which are received, the requests which are to be raised from an authenticated user. Otherwise, what will happen? Anybody can send a request, so they will make the server which may goes down. So this will avoid denial of service. Denial of services means, so here if some other unregistered users or unauthorized users, they can be sending a multiple request. So the server will be busy with the other activities. So authorized users will not get a service on time. To avoid that, so here we are incorporating authentication mechanism with the help of the Kerberos Kerberos authentication mechanisms. First, the user, you need to log in into a system, and then he will send a request to the authentication server. Right now, whenever if the request is received by the authentication server, right, this request will consist of some information. That information I can show you here. Now this is what the request: identity of the client and then identity of the ticket granting server, right? Identity of the client means the user's identity, the name or maybe any other address, right? This is C for client and AS for authentication server, right? So the request which includes identity of the client and then identity of the ticket granting server to whom it wanted to contact. After that, now this based on this request, now authentication server which is going to check its database based on this identity. If this identity is already registered in the authentication server, right? Now this user client C will be considered as an authenticated user. Once if he is an authenticated user, now authentication server will send a reply, right? Always the reply in terms of ticket. I hope this is clear. I'll come back to the previous slide. Now this is the first step is that user is sending the request. By receiving the request, authentication server will ensure that whether this person X is an authenticated user, whether he is a registered user, right? Once if this user X is a registered user or an authenticated users, right? Now this authentication server will issue a ticket. This ticket is used to contact this ticket granting server. I hope this is clear. Along with the ticket, it will share the session key, right? The session key which will be used for these two devices communications. I mean, these two entity communications. Here, AX is sending request to authentication server. Authentication server which gives a ticket. So, for example, ticket 1. Now the ticket 1 which will be used to communicate or contact this TGS. With the help of this ticket T1, which consists of some information of this TGS. Once if this TGS is received the request, and it will give you the another ticket which is T2, let's assume, which is ticket 2. That ticket has the information about the server location and all other thing. With the help of the ticket 2, now this user X will communicate to the server. After that, the request and the response for the service will takes place. Okay. Okay, I was explaining about this. The user is sending the request, is verified, is an authenticated user. After that, this authentication server which issues a ticket as well as a session key. This entire information which are going to be encrypted with the key which is shared between this sender and then authentication server. After that, once if the ticket is received, now you will decrypt it. By decrypting, you will get the complete information about this TGS. After that, now you will send in another request. Request for service granting ticket. Service granting ticket means service granting ticket which is used to contact the server for any service. Here the service which I am going to refer is printing. Now the first request is to contact the TGS. Now the second request to get the ticket to contact the server for printing. I hope this is clear. Once if the request has been received by the ticket granting server, and it will issue another ticket. Let's assume it is a T2. This is a ticket to which helps to contact the server. Again, the ticket is encrypted with the key which has been shared between this user and ticket granting server. Right? Now, after receiving this ticket, now he will communicate to the server, and then this will be verified. And once if the ticket has been, once if the request has been received, after that the server will start providing the services. Any queries regarding this explanation? So I'll read the descriptive one which is given. So here the first is the request, user log on to the work session and request services on host. The second thing is that, so this is 1, now this is 2, this is 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, authentication server verifies the user access right in the database, creates a ticket granting ticket and a session key. Results are encrypted using a key derived from the user password. Right, so that let's assume that is a session key or secret key which knows only by this sender and this authentication server. After that, the third request, which is a workstation which prompts a user password and uses the password to decrypt the incoming message, then sends a ticket to the authenticator that contains the username, network address and the TGS, all these informations, right? And followed by this, the fourth message, which is a TGS decrypt the ticket and authenticator verifies. I think this is 2, 3, now this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. Okay, the TGS decrypts the ticket, now this one, and authenticator verifies the request, then creates the tickets for the requested server. Now this is sequence number 4. Now this is 5. 5 will be the workstation sends a ticket and authenticated to the server, right? So here this one is sending the request. I'm just a bit confused with the sequence number. I'll just get clarification on it. Here this is login. Now this is request. creates. Now this is 2, 3. So here this is 4. Now this is 5. This is 6. Sorry. So here it decrypts and it sends a message, right? We'll take the last part, creates a ticket for the requested server and it sends. After that, the request 5, the communication 5, which is the work session. Now this is the work session, our user sends the ticket and an authenticator to the server. Here the message which is going to be forwarded to the server. Now after receiving the request, server verifies the ticket and authenticator match, then grant access to the service, whatever the service which is intended, right? If the mutual authentication is required, server returns an authentication. After that, so here once if it is verified all the information which are received from the ticket, and then if another process is required, another mutual authentication, so it can send for another request. So there are different types of authentication: one-way authentication and mutual or two-way authentication. Here when we talk about one-way authentication, the first message which is carried out with an one-way authentication, right? Because this user information is stored in the database. After receiving this request, now this is comparing the information which is stored in the database. If it is matches, then it will be an authenticated user. So this is one way authentication, right? Suppose if this user, this entity which wanted to be authenticated to this workstation again, so it will send its own information, so that this user will verify that whether this entity is an authenticated entity. That is called a mutual authentication. Okay, I hope now you are more clear about how the Kerberos authentication takes place, right? There are certain terminologies you're supposed to remember. The first one is a workstation or a client or user, you can call it as any name, right? That is any entity who wanted to send a request to access a server. In order to access a server directly, you'll not be able to access the server. Before that, some other stages or some other or two-stage verification has to be carried out. First one is an authentication server, which is an entity which will do the authentication process, which has the database has some information which are stored in it. And then whenever if the request received from any user, and you will be verified whether the request is received from an authenticated users. Once if is an authenticated users, then it will give a ticket to contact the second layer, which is our second level of entity, which is ticket granting ticket. Okay, after that, once if the ticket is received, now you can ask for one more service or one more ticket to contact the service. So that will be verified again by the ticket granting server, that will issue a ticket through which user can directly contact the server. This is what the logic behind the Kerberos version 4. Any queries regarding this explanation? I've just explained about the rough idea, or I could say that the overview of how the Kerberos architecture works, but we will discuss about what each and every entity, what kind of task, what is meant by ticket, what are the different components which are present in each and every ticket, which are going to be different every ticket, which may have the different components. We will discuss everything after this. If you have any queries, quickly you can write in the chat box. Okay, so if you are clear now, I'll go back to my the previous slides. I can start from, I can resume from there. I was explaining this part, right? I told you that both the uh, authentication server as well as ticket granting server will issue a ticket. The ticket consists of these components. client name, server name, client host network address, and session key for client and server, ticket lifetime as well as creation lifetime. So these are the component of tickets. Now let me understand what is this session key and what is an authenticator. When you talk about a session key, you all might be knowing about what is a session key and the difference between a session key and then secret key, right? Session key is also a secret key, but it has a validity for only for the particular session. In the beginning, I was explaining about when the Kerberos, each and every user or every message, it needs to be an authenticated, right? This session key, which is used to seal or encrypt both the client request as well as response, which is received from the another entity, right? With the help of this session key, and they are going to do the encryption as well as decryption of the request as well as responses. Another entity which we can talk about an authenticators. Authenticators prove a client's identity. Suppose user AX is claiming that he is sending the request. Now X is an authenticator. He need to prove himself whether he is an authenticated users. How we can prove it whether he is an authenticated users? By means of sending its identity. There every client or every user might have identified or he might been issued with the unique identifier. Identifier is a unique name or a number or unique some other address through which the client will be identified as a authenticated users, right? How we are assigned with the unique identity Aadhaar card numbers, right? So that is an the card through which we can prove our identity. If we are going for any government related services, the first document which they require is our Aadhaar card, because that is an the unique identity number through which our citizen identity number they will identify by referring the document. Similarly, the client needs to identify when it comes for the authenticators. Now when we talk about the another stage, right, where each time a client wants to contact server, it must first ask the third party, which is a TGS, which is an intermediate server, for a ticket and a session key. Now the ticket, this is the request number 3, right? It needs to communicate to the ticket granting server, which will issue a ticket as well as a session key. In order to communicate, in order to contact the TGS, first of all it needs to get a ticket. So now this ticket granting ticket which will be issued by an authenticated server, right? This is explained by the step or the communication number 2, right? Now let me understand what is the authenticated server. I was explaining about that. First, the first step, the client is sending the request to authenticated server. Now the authentication server, right? The client sends a plain text request to the authentication server asking for a ticket, and the ticket can used for to talk with the TGS. TG is an intermediate server, right, through which the service, I mean, it will issue the ticket to contact the server. Before that, the client needs to send in the request to authentication server, and before that, the user can log in. If it is a remote location, right, he can log in with through the telnet and other entity, right, and followed by which ticket granting server he wanted to approach, right? Now once the requests are received, the role of an authentication server, right, which used to find the keys corresponding to the login name and the TGS name, because authentication server is a repository will has the complete information about all the clients as well as all the ticket granting server which are associated with it. Once if the request is received, authentication server creates a ticket. The ticket includes login name, ticket granting server name, and client network address, and then ticket granting server session key, right? This entire information seals the ticket with the TGS secret key, right? Now this Once if the ticket is received by the authenticated user X, he cannot decrypt it, right? The ticket cannot be decrypted it, but otherwise he will receive the ticket. Along with that, he can receive some other information, but the ticket cannot be decrypted, right? The ticket will be decrypted only by the TGS. Now this is how the authentication server, right, which sends, which creates the ticket and which transmits, right? Authentication server also creates a random session key for the client and the TGS to use, right? Now I was telling about the authentication server which creates a key through which the entire data which is going to be encrypted, not the ticket, but the other information which are going to be encrypted with the key which is only known by this EX and this authentication server, right? The session key and the sealed ticket. Now the session key which are going to be used for a decryption, and the sealed ticket. Now the sealed ticket cannot be decrypted by client, right? Please understand, the ticket which has been encrypted by the TGS session key, this cannot be decrypted. Along with the ticket, authentication server will send some other information that can be decrypted using a key which is known by the both the authentication server and the client. Now the ticket consists of these informations: TGS session key, along with that login name, TGS name, net address, and then TGS session key. With this, right? Now these are the notations which we are using for communications, right? Client to authentication server, which is identity of the client, and then the address, and then identity of the server, right? And now the authentication server which replies a ticket. Similarly, the client will communicate to the server, right? For time being I am not explaining this, it may make confused, because in between there are two more steps that I'll explain further, right? Let me understand the first two, request and then response, right? Client is sending the request to authentication server, right? By this is a client identity, server identity, and followed by this authentication server which issues a ticket. The ticket which has the information of identity of the server, and then identity of the client, sorry, address of the client, identity of the client, and then the session key which are going to be used to communicate to the next entity. Okay. Next we'll be discussing about accessing the TGS, right? Client decrypt the message, is just decrypting the message, not decrypting the ticket, using the user's password and the secret key, right? After that, now you will ask the session key and the ticket that can be used to contact the TGS. Okay. The client cannot see inside the ticket since the client does not know the TGS secret key. So from this it is to be understood that he can decrypt the data and he can see the information, but he cannot decrypt the ticket because the ticket has encrypted using a secret key which has been shared between the authenticated server and then TGS. Only the ticket granting server can decrypt it, but in between this user X, he can see the ticket but he cannot decrypt it, right? See the means he can no, he will receive the ticket but he cannot interpret what is written in it, right? Okay. So here another steps, when a client wants to start using a server for service, the client must obtain the ticket. So in order to get a service you need to get the ticket. The client composes a request and send to TGS. This is the request number 4, right? And followed by the TGS ticket as well as authentication as well as server name. And this the request which has been verified by the TGS, and it will create a ticket that is going to be shared. Now the TGS decrypts the ticket using its secret key. Now the TGS has received the request using sequence number or step number 3 from client. Client X is sending the request to TGS using step number 3. Once if the request is received, now this TGS decrypts the ticket using its secret key, because the ticket has been encrypted using a key which is known by this authentication server and then TGS. And inside the TGS session key, after that, the TGS decrypts the authenticator using the session key, because the request which is made, which has been encrypted using a key which is known only by this X and this TGS. Is it clear? Am I confusing? The TGS checks to make sure the login names and all other things, which make sure that whether the message is coming from an authenticator, authenticated user X. If it identifies that X is an authenticated user, now the TGS will create a ticket. The ticket consists of information in order to contact the server. The ticket is sealed with the server key. It will generate a new ticket. The ticket has been encrypted using server secret key. Now, user will receive the ticket. He cannot decrypt it. With the help of the ticket, he can communicate to the server. Only the server will decrypt the ticket. Okay. Client, here the client decrypts the message, not the ticket. Right? Once if we get the message, right, and then you will send a request based on the information which received, right? You will send a request to communicate to the server with the help of the ticket which is received, right? The client can contact the new server using the same format used to access the TGS. Whatever the steps which the formatter followed in the previous session to contact the TGS, the same steps will be used to contact the server. I hope this is clear. This the requirements I can explain it bit later, right? Any queries regarding this architectures, how the Kerberos session works, Kerberos protocol, Kerberos authentication protocol scheme which works? Okay. So you can assume that the example which I gave, if you wanted to meet any person, right, you will be verified once in the gate, and then you will be verified by the corresponding person's personal security. So let's assume that the gatekeeper is the authentication server, and then the personal secretary will be the ticket granting server. And after that, once if you get the clearance from the both the level of security layer, then you can meet the higher authority. By the way, you can compare this, you can no map these two elements. Okay, with this we are coming to the end of our today's session. We'll meet in the other session. Until, take care.